Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! From Ohio, and I'm going to come bring you a simple card tonight using some DSP, which is Designer Series paper in the Stampin' Up! World, which is your printed papers, and we're going to use embossing folders with them. So it's going to be a quick and easy. I'm going to do 2 cards just to, because I can, I guess. So I want to do that and see what that's like. But I'm going to be doing that when I turn the camera around. But first, I am going to, you see me looking up, I'm looking at my other monitor because I want to bring up the page so I make sure that I stay in focus with you guys. There we go. Now we've got that done so I can concentrate more or less down here with you guys. If you notice, I'm sitting tonight. I'm not standing at my table. I'm brought up my stool to sit on just because I've been lazy today, I guess. Hadn't felt the best, and that's, you know, so I just wanted to sit down, I guess, is what I can say, more so than anything. But anyway, I want to tell you about Stampin' Up! We do have our starter kit still on special, $99. You get to pick out $155 worth of stuff. Now, I want to make this clear on that. You get to pick out $155 of anything you want in any of our current catalogs or online exclusives, whatever. But, you know, a lot of people talk about the quarterly minimums, and it's $300 a quarter, which averages out to $100 a month. But you can spend it anyway as long as you get to $300 by the end of 3 months. Well, for people that's just now joining, because we're already into a quarter, they will, you will have to march to get that first $300. So you can actually come on to Stampin' Up! You can see if you like it. You know, you may think it's a wonderful thing to do. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I've been doing it for 10 years. But, you know, sometimes it's not for everybody. But you can come on, you can get your kit. You can try to make it a business if you want to, or if you're just a hobbyist, you can do that. But just see if you can, will be able to, in the long run, make your minimums and stuff like that. But I don't want you to have to worry about that because you do have time to work on that for the first quarter, because you're going into a quarter that's already started, and your $300 has to go into a whole quarter. So this one you're just in, and then you have to make it by the end of the next one, which would lead you into March, which would also lead you into the celebration that we always have in January and February. So you'd be able to take advantage of that with your discount and stuff like that. You would also get to pre-order that stuff before it goes live. So I just wanted to tell you that. And if you have any questions about it, you may get in touch with me. If you would love to join, I would love for you to be on my team. That would be great. And I can talk to you about that too. Or you can go to my online store and click the join button and join. We also have our kits on sale, 30% off. If you haven't tried our kits lately, they have really stepped up their game with those, and they are really nice, so you might want to try one. Same with Paper Pumpkin. Our Paper Pumpkin kits have really gotten nice, and you might want to get on and see about that. If you would like a subscription to something like that, it really is, you know, helpful, and it's fun to have quick cards like that. So, and in Paper Pumpkin, you also have projects and stuff. And the scrapbooking stuff for Close to My Heart is still on sale, and that is until all supplies last. You know, once they're gone, they're gone, because Stampin' Up's going to be bringing out a lot of their own stuff in our own colors. So with all that being said, I am going to turn my camera down. I'm going to show you some cards I've already made, and then we're going to make 2 cards real quick, okay? So let's turn the camera down, and we got to turn it around, so you're going to see me on the monitor over there. There we go. We know we're good when we get onto that monitor. Now we're down. Kind of make you a little dizzy, doesn't it? Here is my host code if you would like to order anything and don't have a demonstrator. I would love for, I'm going to scoot my camera up. I would love for you to order from me, and there's my host code that you can use. And if your order's over $150, don't use the host code because then you get your own rewards, okay? So that's all that I want to say there. Okay, my card that I want to show you, I actually have done, I'm going to get the 3 original ones out that I've done. I did this one by mistake. I did not use the embossing folder, so I wanted to show you that. That's with no embossing folder. It's just the Splendid Autumn paper, and which is really pretty. This to me looks like a masculine card, which is always nice to have. So there's that one. Then here's the one I like the best. I have an embossing folder that I put the paper through, but what I did first was I cut my circle out of behind here, so I matched it back up. But I have that so it's kind of smooth, and you can see it with the embossing folder behind it. And that looks really, really pretty. And then this one I did because I did it by accident too. I forgot to cut my circle out, and I put it through the whole embossing folder. So this one is embossed here and here. So that gives it a different look also. And so these cards are all done in landscape, which is what I do most of them. This is just another paper done to show you some different papers. And then this one is done as portrait, okay? So you can do them either direction, just whatever your paper does. I know a lot of us have the scenic paper from Stampin' Up, and this is great to use with these. Like I said, I use the new Splendid Autumn. You could use Thoughtful Journey. You could use the one we had last year at Christmas time. I forget the name of it. There's Meadowing, the Meadow one. I forget what it, Meandering Meadows. There's that one. There's several of these, and if you have them, they make great cards. And I really like the idea because both of these to me kind of look like a masculine card. They're more masculine looking. And these we have that look more, I don't know, I don't want to say girly. I want to say feminine, I guess. More for a woman. So, you know, you can make them either way. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to make it from start to finish. I haven't cut anything out yet. I wanted to show you my process. So I'm moving those out of the way. I'm bringing in my cardstocks. And as you can see, there's very little you have to cut. Both of these have a card base of 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base and burnish it so it stays folded. I like that. Then I have a piece of white cardstock that's 5 1/4 by 4. That'll be on the front. Then this is cut 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 to go on the front. And this is a piece of what was left over here of the DSP, and that is going to go right here on the side of our card. So let's go ahead right now. We're going to put this one in. That'll get 2 pieces glued together so I don't have to worry about losing one, right? So I guess if I glue them together, well, if I can get my glue to work. Well, what is it with my glue tonight? That's not even my glue gun, is it? For shame, for shame. I left it open for a good while today, which was really a no-no, and I tried to close it, but I forgot. I was off doing other things. Come back and my glue is, and I just... There we go. I'm going to stick that all the way down in there and see if I can make sure that that's unclogged. All the way down. I need to show you this other card. I did this at my in-person class last week. We were doing embossing folders, and this one is embossed with the circle. Oh, I'm about to turn my light out. Done with the circle embossing folder, and that is done with the Winderly Treetops. The paper goes with that. So I wanted to show you that too, because that's a different way you can use it without making a focal point on your card. So now let's see if the glue works, right? And here we go. We have glue. I did. I left it open on my table for a good while today, which is basically a no-no. But, you know, sometimes that happens, right? So I'm just going to glue that over to the edge. And since it's going to the edge, I can just put that down on my table. And I'm going to just smooth it out. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in my card. And then that way I know that that part is done. With that big glob right there. And I think I just stopped it back up. Dang. I have more glue issues anymore. I don't know what I do. But whatever I do, I need to. Sometimes I take my lids off and I run hot water in them and really clear them out. Let's see if this one works. There we go. We got it working. So I have glue there. So let's take this, put it right here on the inside, and that part is done. And now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to it. And that I used Old Olive Green, and this is Mossy Meadow. I love greens, and I love them at this time of year to go with all the other fall colors. I just think it's so pretty and rich. So I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to put my extra piece right over here on this side of my cardstock that's going to go to the inside, which is cut 5 1/4 by 4. And so we'll have that over here on the side. I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. So there we go. Let's put this in here. We won't have to worry about losing those. So we have that. Whoops, I'm going to put it on upside down. That's not good. There we go. So that is those two. And we're going to lay them up here out of the way for right now. Because what we are going to do, we're going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to cut out our circles. Will be the first thing that we do. And we have to use the big machine because of our paper being cut too big for the small machine. So let's move everything out of the way. Bring this in. It's probably going to be close, but that's okay. What we're going to do first on both of them is we're going to cut out our circle. And we are going to be using the stylish shapes right here. And I'll be using the 3rd largest one, which is the size I use all the time for everything, it seems like. This scallop right here came from the Round We Go dies. It's this larger scallop right here. And this circle fits in that just perfectly when you get it done. So, let's move that. We're going to bring our piece of cardstock in. And let's do our circle right up here. That'd be a good place for it. So let's just take and cut that out. So there we go. We have our circle cut out. That will go on our, we have this that will go here, and then our circle is going to go on there and be popped up on that. So we're going to take our next one, here it is, and we are going to cut out, and I think I am going to cut out down here. I'm going to cut it low. No, I don't want to cut it low because of my sentiment. So let's cut out up here, like so. We'll cut that tree out. So So let's put this over that. Whoops. And just run it through. Whoops, you heard it go. Let's pull this out. And there we have, and there again, I'm going to put that on white because it really pops it out. And we have our pieces for it. So right now, I'm just going to lay those there. I'm going to move these plates. But first, I'm going to put my die back because how many of you set them down and then you kind of lose them and you have to hunt for them? I don't like doing that because I don't want to lose them. My dies are like gold to me. They're worth a lot. So let's bring in our embossing folder. And I like using the exposed brick. That's my favorite one on that. I used on the cards that you saw, I used the exposed brick and I used the distressed tile. I'm going to go ahead and use exposed brick on both of them, I think. So I'm going to turn this back over where this little black line is. I'm going to take my DSP and I'm going to line that up. And because DSP is thin, I can take both of these and line them up like that. And they should be fine. Let's try. Even though the holes are at different angles, let's see what we can get out of here. So I've got that lined up with my, there's a little black line down there, so it's lined up. I'm going to put this hinge side towards the machine right here. That, when you roll it through, it lets the air out of here so you don't break the hinge. You don't want to break your embossing folder in half. That's not a good thing to do. So we're going to run this through and let's see how both of our pieces look. I'm going to bet that they're okay. But we'll see for sure if they're okay, right? Let me get them out. They're sticking in there. So there we go. We have both of them done. And they look fine. So let's put those right there. I'm going to take my embossing machine and stick it out of the way. We don't need it over here taking up a lot of space. That's not fun. I like them, but they take up a lot of room when you're doing cards, right? So I'm going to pull my seat up a little bit. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put these on. I'm going to do both of them at the same time. And look how pretty the back part of it looks because that's just like a green. And look how pretty that looks with the embossing folder. So you could actually use that side too if you wanted for something. But right now, we're doing the scene. So I'm going to glue, and I'm going to put, if you can see, I'm going to add quite a bit of glue because of it being with the grooves in it, the dimensions from the embossing. And I want to get around this window here so that it stays down really good. So we have glue on it. We're going to bring it here. And you only have 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So you have to watch it so that you that you have good lines all the way around. And then just gently rub that down so that the embossed area on the back gets adhered to your card so that your whole card stays down. So we're going to go ahead and bring this one in and we're going to put it on this piece of white. And see, look at that copper color. Isn't that pretty? I love embossing folders. You know, they add so much to your work and it doesn't take hardly anything to use them. And they're really not that expensive if you think about it. So there I have all the glue on there. So let's bring it over here and put this one on my paper and move it around to where I think I want it. Sometimes I press too hard and then it wants to stay in one place. Okay, now I'm just going to gently rub that. Make sure I get all my edges down good. And then I'm going to bring these in and I'm going to put them on their respective card bases. I chose the Old Olive because of the lighter greens in here. I thought that would pick those up. So I'm doing Old Olive. And I'll show you the cards I made one more time to just show you some different things to point out some different things that I had done. These cards are so easy, and I tell you, everybody I know that's a stamper uses tons of DSP. Or let me rephrase that, buys a ton of DSP. Because sometimes we buy it and we don't get around to using it all. And I was bound determined to use some of this Splendid Autumn, and it doesn't have to be for cards for the fall. Because, you know, this doesn't have to look fallish and stuff. You can put a birthday sentiment or whatever on there. This one does have pumpkins on it. So, you know, fall time is a good time to use for this. Early fall, late fall, through the fall season. But it makes the great birthday cards instead of just a fall card. So what we're going to do with these, we're going to just turn these over and we're going to glue the back of them. We're not going to use dimensionals or nothing. We're just going to get them on our circle. So let's do this one too. These are really fun and easy cards. I should have saved it for my Simply Saturdays. You know, I do a video. I'm not real consistent about getting this video up through the week. I need to be more consistent and get it up at the same time. But I do have a video series called Simply Saturday that's pre-recorded that comes to YouTube. It goes to my Facebook group, which is Stamp Crazy VIP. It goes to my Facebook business page, which is Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. And it goes here to YouTube at Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. And that way it comes on at 10:30, and they're super easy cards. They're made, they're geared, they're not geared towards beginners, but they are very good for beginners. But they're just cards to make life simple and easy when you need a card quick. So those are on every Saturday morning at 10:30. And like I said, they're pre-recorded. They're not live with, you know, like, well, this one's pre-recorded. They're not live like my Facebook Live where you can go in and comment as I'm doing stuff. So, anyway, if you want to watch them and comment on them, I watch the comments, and you can comment, and I'll go in and check the comments, and then I give away a card, and I'll let you know if on Saturdays if you won or not on the Saturday card to where I could get your address. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. Now here's what I'm doing. I am putting on some dimensionals, and I'm putting it on the inside where the hole is. That's where my circles are going to go. And that way I don't have to worry about them being in the wrong place on here. Now what I'm going to do, and here's a trick, and another demonstrator has told me, you know, about doing this. Add a little bit of glue after you take that paper off to your dimensionals when you're doing something like this where you want it in a certain spot. I want to line up like this orange color to there. And that should line up with that. But see, it'll wiggle, and I can wiggle that around on those dimensionals till I get it where I want it. So there we go with that one. Same thing, I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to add some glue to my dimensionals. and it's not going to hurt the dimensionals at all. Then I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to, here's some green here for this tree area, and I'm just going to add that there. Make sure I got that in there and everything's covered. So there's my 2 cards. Now we're going to add a sentiment. And I keep a lot of scraps like this because I never know what sentiment I'm going to use. But I think I am going to use well, I'm going to use this, just a little note for one of them, just a little note. So let's put that on a block. I have one right here. And I think I'll put it on this one, so I'm going to use the Old Olive color of ink for it. So I'm going to ink that up, just barely tapping so I don't get ink all over the edges of the stamp. I'm going to bring in this piece right here because I think this is what will work for it. Yeah. Should work. Let's look and see. Yep, that worked. Yay. And then I think for this one over here, I'm going to put, I don't know what I'm going to put. Let's see. Let's get, should I do another birthday? Or maybe, let's do, I'm just going to do have a blessed day, if I can find it on here. Because I tend to lose all my stamps. Well, I don't lose them. I just have to read them. Have to read them. I knew that. Here it is right here. I should have known. But I didn't look at it that good. So I kind of forgot where it went. Now, when I'm using these, a lot of times, I'll put them, you know, of course, turn it upside down and line it up here on my glass mat, or you can use grid paper to where I think it looks pretty straight, and then I'll put it on my my block to stamp, and I think that might go on here. Let's see. It surely will, and I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to use Cajun Craze because that has some Cajun Craze in it, some of the orangier colors. So let's use that. When you're inking up your acrylic stamps, you can watch your stamp just get dark without even pressing in the ink. And that way you don't mess up on your sides. Makes it really nice. So I want to get those S's done. There we go. So anyway, we'll send a pumpkin patch and a have a blessed day card. Wouldn't that be cute? So what I'm going to do now is close the ink pad first off, because we don't want to get our fingers in it. Fingers in your card is not a good thing. I'm going to bring this over, and I am going to get my scissors. I'm going to cut this at an angle right here. I'm going to cut this off a little bit. I don't need all of that. Because what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it right in here. And you can take, when you do that, so your edges don't, those pointed edges don't show, you can cut those off. And then stick that up here. I think it's going to go right there best. And it says just a little note. Or I could put it down and put it at an angle. No, I don't like that. Let's put some glue on the back and glue it down. And not worry so bad about what we're doing. I need to close that other stamp pad. I just noticed it was open. So I'm going to put it up here. And I'm just holding it down with that till I get to this end and put that end down. So there we go. We have that on there. Let's close this. And we're going to do Have a Blessed Day over here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a tag. So I'm just going to cut that. It's like a little banner tag. So I've cut that into there. And that is going to come down here, unless, do I want to put this like over, covers up too much of my scenery. I don't want to do it that way. I like my scenery to show. So we're going to put it just right here, kind of centered. Push that back. Make the tag. And I'm going to finish these cards off by putting on some embellishments. And I think with this just a little note, because it kind of looks a little more springier type to me, I'm going to put a couple butterflies on it as to start. So I'm going to take one of the big ones, if I can get it off with this. Sometimes I can, sometimes I have to go with the other end. And I'm going to, because they are so, they're thick. So let's pull him up. Make sure we get his sticky part. And then I'm going to bring him, and I'm going to put him, I think I'm going to put him over here. So there's one. Two. I'm going to do another big one. And I'm going to put him right up here, flying towards those others. And after I do that, I'm going to take these. They're called Pecan Pie and Clear Adhesive Backed Dots. And I'm going to use the clear on and I have 3 on there. I always want to keep odd numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put 2 of these on here. So I have 5 embellishments. So there we go. That is this card. Now we're going to come over to this card, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put butterflies on it. I'm going to use these Pecan Pie gems because they have a little gold texture to them, and I really, really like that. So I'm going to put one here. And one next to it here. Then I'm going to do the small one. I like to mix up the sizes. If I can get it off of the thing. There we go. And I think I'm going to put that right up here. So I have 3 little gems on here. So can you see them? I'll tilt my card the other way a little bit. They look really good at my angle because I can see them better. But on camera, they don't show up as well. So there are our 2 cards that we made just now. And what I wanted to point out to you is I used all white on there. Well, here I used a colored card for my card base, colored for my mat, and then I used a color for my circle. And then I put on white for my sentiment. Here I did the same thing. I used basic beige all throughout with wild wheat and picked up those colors in here. This one I did white, like what we did. This one I did like what we did. And this one, although I used white here, I went ahead and used a Cajun Craze circle. So you can add, you know, just do all kinds of different things to these. It works out really well. So that I hope you like. It's a good way to use DSP up and get them with the embossing. See all that embossing on there, which is really, really pretty. This one too. So there's my card. I hope you guys liked them. Be sure on Saturday to check out my Simply Saturday videos that come on at 10:30. And also, give me a thumbs up if you would, please. You could subscribe to my channel, which would be great. And just hit the subscribe button and hit for notifications. That way you'll know when I come on. Share my video. You might have other stamping friends that might like to see what I'm doing in that. So I would love for you to share my video. And that is always all the ways you can help me with YouTube. So with that being said, I'm going to say good night for everybody to have a blessed week. And I will see you hopefully on Saturday on a pre-recorded video. If not, next week I'll be bringing another video, which I put out on my Facebook group on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. Try to get this one done with that, but things come up and I don't. I do have a PDF for the cards. That always goes on my Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, in the files section. And you are more than welcome to join that group too. I have over 200 PDFs on there of all the different cards that I've done. So you are more than welcome to go there and snag all that off that you would want. And, you know, tell your friends about it and that. That's what that group's for. It's for me to teach and for you guys to learn. And what an easier way to learn than to have PDFs that you can use that tells you the sizes and that. That way you don't have to write down cheat sheets and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, you be blessed the rest of this week. I'm glad that you've stopped by to watch my video. Please give me some comments if you would. And like I said, thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you can do. All right? Have a great day, and we'll see you again. Bye.